Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
we had 2 warnings previously.
Okay, we're not letting me speak.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
Mario Carbone, the famous Mario Carbone. It's okay. You can woo for yourself. It's okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
We have to tell you that yesterday, Carbone sent over the care package, the ultimate, the spicy rigatoni.
Yeah.
We got some chicken parm. We got a nice Caesar salad.
Got to feed you guys.
It was awesome. You know, I think the spicy rigatoni, is that like your official calling card? Because it seems like it's everywhere.
That's the hit song, right? That's the one. Play the song.
Right?
You know what I decided yesterday? If I was to be put to death in the electric chair and I had one meal left, it would be your spicy rigatoni.
I'm not sure how to feel about that.
That's a positive. That would be my last meal.
Well, first, I'm concerned. What'd you do? What did you do?
Well, let's hope this never happens. But what I'm saying is that would be my last meal.
Interesting.
I love it.
Interesting.
As a chef, as a restaurant owner, what if you got a call from the penitentiary in Huntsville, Texas, or I don't know, I'm making this up, and it said, Mr. Carbone, we're putting a man to death tomorrow, and his request is for his last meal is spicy rigatoni.
Yeah.
I would feel obligated to show up in Chef White's and prepare it myself.
Well, that's kind of creepy.
Wow.
The entire thing is very creepy. Yes, I agree.
If it's in the electric chair, he could just hold the bowl and cook it himself.
Oh, my God.
Cut out the middleman. Why not?
That's too far.
You know, spicy rigatoni, that sauce is just incredible.
Oh, so good.
We're talking Calabrian chilies. We're talking some cream involved.
Sweet onions, Calabrian chili, little cream, little butter. And then the best tomato, San Marzanos.
Here's the thing. It seems so simple, yet...
It is very simple.
It is very simple, yet you've elevated it somehow. By how? Just what?
Well, we all grew up with that dish, and it was kind of it was a pizzeria dish. It was like kind of the bad Italian restaurant dish, and we were writing the menu originally at Carbone, and I wrote it in as kind of a joke because it's that kind of bastard dish. And then I was like, well, let me take a couple cracks at making it and see if I get anywhere. And I made it, and I was like, you know what? This is pretty good. This is good enough to put on the menu. Let's see what happens. I had no idea that it would become the most popular. There was no way of knowing that. It was probably the last thing we put on the menu before we opened.
Wow.
There you go.
That's
There's the story.
crazy.
I was just filling in one more slot. I thought I needed a vegetarian pasta. I thought the mix was wrong, and I wrote it in. And I was like, all right, this is pretty good. Let's put it out.
Danielle, look at this new sauce he has now.
I know mac and cheese Alfredo.
Okay, just stop right there.
Okay.
Mac and cheese Alfredo.
Okay.
So for Christmas this year, I got this beautiful presentation from Carbone, from Mario, and that was in there. I'm like, wow, okay. I'm afraid to pop it. I'm afraid once I start eating this, my nipples will fall off or something. It's nipple hardening goodness.
There's been no sign of that happening so far. So you're pretty safe there.
Okay. Well, so let's talk about all your sauces. How many sauces in total do you have?
We have about 25 different SKUs of sauces now.
Whoa.
Okay.
Toe-to-toe with Rayo's.
So, wow. Okay, toe-to-toe with Rayo's. When you were growing up, if you told anyone in your family, we're going to have a jarred sauce today, would they laugh you out of the kitchen? Because sauces back then were a different thing.
Sauces back then were a different thing, but I think they would have a wry eye early on when I say that, but I think that once they tried it, they'd be pretty proud of it. I think the quality of what jarred sauce was back then is not nearly what it is today, and I think you'd find even my tough grandmother maybe trying to sneak in a jar or two of sauce into her cooking as well.
I bet she did all along, and you never were privy to that.
I don't think she did back then.
All right,
Really?
now, do you think your sauce is not the type that people need to, like, play with? Because I know if I use the jarred sauce, I always add a little this, some extra this, garlic, you know?
I'm an adder, too. I play with it.
Okay.
I'll mix different flavors. I'm always playing with it. But no.
I beg your pardon? I'm sorry. I was just half listening.
Mario, man.
I'm always mixing the sauces, Elvis.
Okay. Well, wait. If you're always playing with your own sauce, then why don't you just make that the sauce?
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
I think each person should come up with their own style.
Okay. All right. We'll start there.
It's obviously great on its own, but I get bored.
Okay. But okay, there's other. I haven't had the Mediterranean sauce. What is that?
Mediterranean is your sort of black olive, caper, oregano. It's sort of puttanesca without the anchovy.
Okay.
And what about lemon pepper Alfredo?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
You gotta try them all. I'll come over. I know where you live. I'll come over and we'll do a little taste test.
Well, you don't have to come over. You just send the jar.
No, I think someone's gonna have to actually prepare this.
I would love it. I have trouble opening a jar. But I love starting out with my own whatever I want to start with as far as proteins or whatever, and then I always accentuate with some of your sauce. Always. A little bit sometimes a lot.
Sauce is also great with protein. It doesn't need to be with pasta. You can braise a little chicken in there. Very healthy, high protein.
Did you know that?
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I knew you knew that.
It's not just for pasta sauce.
All right.
I always don't. Don't you throw a protein?
You can make a
in
nice chicken scarpaiello.
Yeah.
Well, that would be with some chicken and some sausage.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
A
I
little
like
rosemary.
A good chicken sausage thrown into something is really good.
Well, that's what we just did.
Yeah.
Hey, how many? Okay, this is the thing that's kind of mind blowing. How many places in America can I find your sauce?
25,000.
Okay. Because I remember. Look, I know Mario Carbone from just a restaurant or two in New York City, and then years later, time passes. I go to a grocery store in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and your sauce is there. I'm like, holy crap, he's everywhere. This is actually great news. Good for you.
I've known you since we were neighbors.
We were.
Wait, I didn't know you were neighbors.
We were. We shared the same bathroom. So how much money per sauce do you get? No, like a jar. Like, hand me that jar. Is that like?
Well, this is a smaller jar and this is a bigger jar. So
is this okay? Is this like 45 cents that goes into Mario's pocket right here, maybe?
The sauce business is a lucrative business.
Okay.
Is it more lucrative than the restaurant business?
Someday it might. At the pace that it's growing, someday it might eclipse even the restaurant business.
Wow.
Well, let's talk about your restaurant business. I know you do Carbone on the Beach down in Miami every year. Did you just announce another year doing this?
We announced another year partnership with American Express, May 2nd through 4th. Formula One weekend. The weather's great. The city's at its fullest, and we put on what I think is the best event of the weekend. Are you coming this year?
You know what? I keep meaning to get there.
And you keep not coming.
Well, okay, may I be brutally honest with you? It's hard to get into that thing sometimes.
No, don't do that.
You know him. You
don't-
call
But
him.
I'm not the kind of guy that likes to make a phone call. Hey, can you
The
get me?
guy just offered to come over and make your
Don't
sauce.
do
I mean,
that.
really.
You're Elvis Duran.
Oh,
Don't
that's
do that.
right. The thing is, you can go online and you can reserve.
Yes, you can.
Reserve for this. And when are we doing that? Just a little too early for that, is it not?
American Express has already got advanced ticket sales happening, so you can buy tickets early from American Express, and then they go online through us in the next couple weeks.
Let's get back to the restaurant business.
Mm-hmm.
I go for my walks every day. I always walk right by Carbone. I always kind of look in to make sure they're doing the job.
Doing the job. I appreciate that. Keep an eye on everybody.
But how many restaurants are you up to, Mario?
We have 50 restaurants right now open, and then we probably have another 20 or so in development.
And I'm thinking the Carbone brand itself is 6 or 7 of those, right?
Yeah, so we have 7 open Carbones, and then we have 2 opening this year, London in September and Dubai in October.
Wow. You have one Carbone and you're able to be there and keep an eye on things. But if you have 7 Carbones and now 50 other restaurants going, how do you keep quality up and running to your standards? Because I know your standards are high.
Yeah. I keep a tight communication with everybody. So we have WhatsApp chats. We have video Zooms all the time. We have digital recipe books that I oversee. I do training videos that I send out to all the chefs. And then I get to as many as I can. But I'm always really close to that chef team around the world and making sure that we're all doing everything exactly the way that I want, the same way the book should be. And then I have a team allocated in the company. They're the travel team. They spend all year on the road. So they just go from place to place to place to place.
So they are you representing you everywhere.
Yeah.
So, and it's not only about food, it's also about hospitality. It's about how you make people feel when they come in. And
there's a show to the whole thing.
It is a show.
Yeah.
It is a show. But do you miss the days where you could just walk in and just fire someone? I mean, and I'm sure you fired many people in your time.
I've fired many people. At this point we have over 5,000 employees at Major Food Group. And in the early days, it was kind of de facto my job to be the fire guy.
Did you enjoy that secretly?
It depends on who you're firing.
And what they did.
Sometimes I really enjoyed it, and sometimes it hurt.
Right.
But the method is always the same. my method of firing is
Well, hold on. Fire me.
okay.
Oh boy.
Okay. Let's. Okay. So we sit down. You call me in.
What did you do?
Well, I don't know. You're here to talk to me.
Well,
Mario.
it changes a little bit of the dynamic of this firing.
Okay. Let's say I've broken 25 dishes in the past week.
Right.
I don't know. That's stupid.
Okay, so I'd invite you in for a meeting. You'd sit down, and then immediately upon sitting down, I'm going to let you know that you're being fired, you're being let go, and then we'll talk. We can talk it out from there. But it's always important to fire immediately, get it out of the way, and then we'll have a little bit of a conversation as to maybe why, and then that'll be it. So really quickly, so you'll sit down like,
Right.
Hey Elvis, how you doing? Great, quick, cordial. Listen, we're letting you go today. XYZ reason, it didn't work out. I'm sorry about that. We wish you well, and I hope you're successful in your next job.
What did I do? Why are you?
You
letting
broke
me go?
25 plates last week. You
Okay.
know you did
Well,
that.
yeah, okay. And unfortunately, they had food on them at the time,
Yeah,
and they were usually over the heads of diners.
Yeah, some of them landed on customers.
All right. Okay.
So you're a liability.
Well, couldn't you talk to me about this and we work it out? Maybe you give me a time to cure that problem.
Well, we did. We did have if you remember, we did write you up a couple times earlier before that. So you were on your last warning, and then that last tray of food that fell in the laps of Mrs.
Right.
Smith last night. That was the
Okay.
last straw.
Well, I didn't know this was the last straw. I thought it was the fact that I had.
No, we went over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
we had 2 warnings previously.
Okay, we're not letting me speak. I mean, with all due respect, I thought maybe you were letting me go because of my flatulence problem.
No, this is not a give and take here. This
Okay.
is a
So you're saying it's done?
no. It's definitively done.
Okay, then why are we talking? I could just walk the hell out of here.
Well, I thought it was important that you heard from me,
Okay.
and I wanted to give you the respect of hearing from
Ask
me.
about your severance package.
Is there a severance package here at?
Yeah, you'll be in touch with Human Resources.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
You want to make me a little lunch before I head out?
Can I get a jar of sauce?
Can you throw on the?
Take a jar of sauce on the way home.
Remember, I used to put the. Okay, I get a jar of sauce for my service.
Well,
Wow!
you get a small jar, not the big one.
Yeah, no, not this one.
What a company! See, I don't know. I've never ever fired anyone in my life. This is why I would be a bad businessman, a business person. I can't fire people.
Yeah.
There's always some sort of loyalty they have with me, even if they're the worst non-productive person in the world. I still find that little thing, and it's not fair to them because they're never going to grow in my company.
Right.
I will never let them. So it's kind of my issue. I'm kind of an idiot like that. I can't fire people.
You got to just put them out of their misery immediately.
I see that worked. Actually, I felt it as you immediately fired me,
Yeah.
and then you said, "Okay, let's talk about it." What's scary? You keep saying something.
Yeah,
behind me.
no,
I can hear you.
I just need to hear about the ultimate meatball making method from the master himself. Now, do you do the pan fried thing, the baking thing, or cook it fully in the sauce? What is the best way to make a meatball?
Scary, are you busy after the show? I need for you to come in. And
This is obviously a multiple step process.
okay.
I don't know how much time we have. Meatballs for me are a blend of 3 meats: veal, pork, and beef. The pork, I substitute out lean ground pork for pork sausage. So it's pork sausage, veal, and beef.
Mm-hmm.
Then instead of using breadcrumbs, because the breadcrumb is going to rehydrate, it's going to take the moisture away from the meats. So I put in what's called panade, which is stale bread that's been soaked in milk. So that becomes the bread that goes inside. It keeps the whole thing really moist. Eggs, cheese, onions, garlic, all that's your mix. Let the mix cool, then roll them into balls. Then they get deep fried in olive
fry 'em
oil.
up.
Fried in olive oil. They're still raw inside. They got a nice little crust. Then they go into a pan with tomato sauce and Parmesan cheese. They get wrapped up and they get slowly cooked, really gentle.
Calm down, man.
I'm sorry, man. This is great. This is food.
Do you sell these in like the supermarkets?
No, I don't think that would go that well.
No?
I don't think
so.
I think that's going to be too big of a What I love about the sauce is that I feel like there's virtually no deterioration from what we do at the restaurants.
Okay.
As soon as you start making things that are like, that's not that good,
Okay.
that's going to hurt us.
Here's the thing about meatballs I've learned as well.
Tell me.
Look, a lot of people say that, it's great just to roll them raw into your sauce. Some people like that because sometimes
they're
come out-
soft.
They're
but-
soft.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're in food service, you can't do that because the meatballs are going to fall apart during the sitting in sauce all day, I would assume, unless they have a little bit of a fry on them. Is that right?
It's not my favorite method, but I do know people that support that one, the soft poached meatball.
Yes.
I like a little crust on my outside.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad we had this conversation.
I don't know how we got here, but I hope that answered your question.
Well, now that I'm fired, Scary, you're hiring him. By the way,
I look forward to coming back next time and you're in charge.
God, Carbone fine food. These sauces are everywhere, and you got to get them. You got to get all of them.
And you're coming this year to Carbone Beach.
Okay, I'm coming. I can't
look at the
I can't believe I'm
dates
getting
first.
mad. I'm getting belligerent. Okay, I'll be there.
Oh, I just feel like we go through this over and over again, and you just don't show up.
Okay.
Every year, I'm like, "Where's Scary? Where's Elvis?" And
see, he's asking for Scary.
I would like both of you to be there.
Oh God, I'm not going if he's going.
And every year, I'm just disappointed.
Okay, I can't disappoint you any longer.
So please come.
Can we talk about this pinky ring you bought?
This one?
Is that the one?
This is Mr. Sinatra's ring.
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Shut up. Let me see.
By the way, I love how you don't call him Frank or Frankie. You call him
Mr.
Sinatra.
Mr. S.
Wait, let me see. Can I see it?
No, don't get too
No,
close
you
to her.
don't have to take it off.
She's from the Bronx. You'll never see it again.
This
Good
is
God.
So cool.
It's a long story, but yeah.
So this belonged to.
That belonged to Tony Bennett. So Frank had broken his pinky shooting a movie, and that ring didn't fit him anymore. So he had it remade, and when he had it remade, he decided to remake 12 of them to give one to each of his kids and to some of the closest people in his life. Quincy Jones, Tony Bennett, the kids all got one. And then about a year and a half ago, Mr. Bennett passed away, and I went to an auction of his possessions, and I was kind of shocked that this was there. And so I bought Frank Sinatra's Tony Bennett ring.
How cool is that?
And
That's so cool.
and then my next worry was, who am I going to get to figure out how to make this fit me? And I bought it, and it fit me as if it was made for me. So I never had to touch it.
Or do like Frank, just break your
Wow.
finger.
Yeah. So now I don't take it off.
See, I know that you are obviously a big fan of Frank Sinatra.
Mm-hmm.
We actually spent a week in his Palm Springs house. It was awesome because you could feel his ghost rolling around in there.
Oh, yeah. It's untouched.
And I have we had this conversation?
What did you do there?
When?
What were you doing there?
Where?
What were you doing?
What?
There?
Why?
Yeah. Why were you there?
We were in Palm Springs for the week, and I found this house. This was his
just
original.
vacationing there.
Yeah, this was his original.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
had two there. This is the original with the piano-shaped swimming pool.
The great pool, yeah.
So, and still some recording equipment in there. It was just great. And the guy who owns the house now takes very good care of it. So I went to the bathroom one morning, not to get too morose, and I was sitting there doing my business. I realized, oh my God, this is where Frank used to sit down and poo every day. And I was like, and it kind of hit me upside the head. I'm like, whoa. And I actually, a little hungover, I tried to have a conversation with him. I'm thinking, I know you're with me, Frank. I know you're here in your bathroom with me.
What'd you tell him?
I'm never going to divulge that. But also, there was a chip on the sink where apparently he and Ava Gardner got into a fight, and he threw a champagne bottle at her, and it chipped the sink, and it's still there. That's the thing. They're ghosts. I mean, actually, not the ghosts. They're still alive. They're with us. And it's things like this pinky ring that keeps his energy rolling around. So I totally understand why you rolled for that. It makes sense.
I got his daughter Tina's blessing. She was kind of the keeper of the rings, and I let her know that I was buying it, and it made her happy, and that was all I needed.
So let's talk about the icons. The icons of Mario Carbone. There's Frank Sinatra.
Yep.
Tony Bennett's in there.
Tony Bennett's in there. Tom Ford's in there.
Right. Back up, Tom Ford.
Yeah.
Does this have anything to do with the fact that you're also running a line of really cool fashion, men's outerwear?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had a passion for that industry, and I loved, not only his work, but I think the way he carries himself, and I've always been a huge fan of Tom's. I don't know him personally, but he's definitely on my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Have you met him?
Very briefly. He did a runway show at one of my restaurants years ago, and he designed some of the uniform. He designed the uniforms at the grill in Midtown. But even through all that, I only met him in passing.
So Mario has a new coffee table book. It's called Carbone.
Yes.
Have you ever wanted to do your own coffee table book? I wanted to do the tequila shot orgasm book. And hear me out.
Oh my God, what would that look like?
It's a photo close-up of a face.
Yeah.
And you have to guess whether they just took a shot of tequila or they just had an orgasm.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I would buy this book.
Don't you think that? No.
Has anyone passed on this yet?
Well, no. It's in development stages. But Carbone, the coffee table book, is what story are you telling it with this book?
We decided to do it because last year the restaurant turned 10 years old, and we've been blessed in so many ways at that restaurant. One of the big things that's so unique about the place is that virtually the identical staff from 10 years ago is still there, which just doesn't happen in restaurants. People come, they go, they quit, and we have basically the same team. So I thought this is a perfect opportunity to sort of memorialize the first 10 years of this place, both food, but the style that we do it, the decor, the music, the people, the personalities, get everyone in this thing and make sure that we have a living testament to like the first 10 years, because I'm so grateful for everyone that did that.
I would love to see that, and I can't wait to see that.
I've got one coming for you.
Oh, no, stop. Slow down. You're so giving. A new car is on the way. Oh, is this from Mr. Carbone? Please send him some roses and say thank you. I appreciate that. And the Aisling books are beautifully done. They're quite pricey. My kind of an interesting point here is everyone can do their own coffee table book from their lives. You can self-publish if you want. You could go onto Apple. You can take photos of your life that tell a story of maybe the last 10 years of your relationship with someone, or parties you went to, or any party you throw. You can make a coffee table book with photographs and thoughts. It's something, it's great to have out on the table. So when people come by, you're like, well, what's that? Oh, take a look.
That's tequila and orgasm.
Yeah, I can't wait. Don't you steal my idea, Mario. We have proof that I told you that. So what else are you doing in your life? Because you seem very fidgety, not here in the seat, but I don't see you as the kind of person who can just sit there and let a day go by without opening a restaurant or coming up with a new recipe in a jar of sauce.
No, it's a gift and a curse. I stay really busy, and when I hear a good idea or I see a good idea, whether I have the time to really dive into it or not, I jam it into my schedule, and I'm a masochist that way. So I'm constantly working on things. You know, the development of the fashion brand. We're working on all sorts of different projects in the company that are beyond restaurants, that are like hotels and branded residences and members clubs and real estate. Touching all areas that like encapsulate hospitality. Anything that could be hospitality, I want to have in the portfolio. I want to touch. I want to affect. So I've got people working on projects all over the place that who knows when or if they'll see the light of day, but like we're going.
What about a reality show, like a hospitality reality show, where you train people from the beginning all the way and help their careers?
That's interesting. I think I could do like a Martha Stewart-y kind of thing, because I do all the plateware and music and uniforms. I think there could be something like around that would be interesting.
All right.
But look at all of this. Take it back to when you were a kid.
Yep.
Okay.
You were on the radio. I was going to school.
Okay,
Right.
don't say that.
No, it's true. But so at some point, cooking food,
Always.
I'm assuming from family,
Yep.
right? And at what point did you see yourself actually physically in a restaurant working? Like what year in your lifetime was
My
that?
first jobs, which were really simple local jobs, was probably around 15 years old. I was working after school and on weekends in local restaurants, doing odd jobs, but just kind of catching the bug of the chaos, the exciting chaos that is a professional kitchen. I had never seen anything like that. Tickets are coming in, people are yelling, the pace is crazy, and there was something about that I really loved. I loved that energy, like a real misfit energy that's in a kitchen. And so that became, okay, I want to work in something better. I want to learn more. Eventually went to culinary school after high school. I kind of bypassed traditional college and went to culinary school. I did that for, 2 years. And then I got my first real cooking job in the city. And I was 18, turning 19 years old. And I was getting my first real job in Manhattan.
Wow. And now you're talking...
Still living at home in Queens, taking the
Right.
train every day, and working in a real kitchen.
But here you are talking about opening hotels.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at the leap. But it was a hard traveled road. I mean, you worked your ass off.
Yeah.
But at this level where you are now, do you miss just this? I don't want to call it the simplicity. Do you miss just the carved out, just simple being in the kitchen, just cooking, running the line.
Yeah.
Working. I'm not talking about the chef. I'm talking about cooking.
Yeah.
The line.
I think when I get that sensation that I miss it, I'll block out a schedule. I'll block out a time on my schedule and I'll just go do it. I'll go to one of the restaurants. I'll put on the uniform. I'll work next to the chef, call tickets, check on everything, go behind the line, teach some things to some of the younger cooks. I have these like conclaves during the year where I have all the chefs come to me and we do like a big cooking weekend where we go through everything new and old, and I get to touch all the chefs and we used to work on everything. So that's the way that I try to affect the company in a really big way, is getting large groups of people together, doing training seminars. And then whenever we're opening something, I'm on the ground. I'm part of the travel team. I'm the first one there. I'm implementing the recipes. I'm the face of the culinary organization. So I'm on the road a lot.
Wow.
Wow.
What a story. There are so many people in whatever line of work they have decided to pursue that they could do it that way and be very successful.
Do you know how many jars of sauce they've sold since 2021?
Is there a number?
18 million jars of sauce.
Oh my gosh. 45 cents a jar.
It's the fastest growing product in America outside of beverages.
I love that.
Yeah.
It is.
That's
And
amazing.
of course, we're talking about Carbone Fine Food. These sauces are amazing. Don't ever poo-poo a jarred sauce.
Don't you poo-poo my sauce.
I'm not poo-poo. There's no poo-poo in a Carbone sauce. But congratulations on everything,
Thank
as
you.
I've said all the times you've been here. And the moments you are in the kitchen just working the line, I hope you never, ever give that up. I hope you always find
I
time
agree.
to do that.
I hope so too. I love it.
Excellent. Mario Carbone, thank you.
Thank you.
There he is.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.